My reasons for being vaccinated are quite deep-seated. That when I came through recovery, I spent many years unemployed, and to be gainfully employed is something that is not a reality for a lot of our whānau whaiora. To be employed is such a big thing, to be able to maintain, hold an employment down. Who better to know the system than those who work in that system, whether it be justice, corrections, addictions. We're the experts in what happens in those areas. Because why? Because we've been through that. And so that's something that's been there for me. It's built up my self-esteem, being able to pay my way and be part of the community. But most of all was to be able to help support my family. And with that come the mokopuna. As you know, during this time, a lot of our people have been homeless, and being able to be stuck at home, and if you haven't got a home to go to, they're stuck in motels, and the anxieties and the issues that they must be going through within those spaces is very similar to being isolated. And so their resilience has to be built up, and just be able to be there and help them through those times is why I got vaxxed. Also too, for my mokopuna, I want them to not go through some of the stuff that we go through. Before the COVID came in, it was all, our whānau were already struggling with maintaining their wellness and how they could get themselves better to lead a more normal, happier life than they had been. With the coming of COVID, I felt that it isolated our people a lot, especially if you were living on your own. For our whānau who were in lockdown for all that time up in Tamaki, their resilience was tested again, which is resilience that had been built up over the years of discrimination, years of being ostracised, years of being pohara, years of being unemployed. It was a lifestyle that many of our whānau, it was a sort of a trap that we all fall into, and sort of to what we call the revolving door syndrome, where you just go round and round and out of the ward, not quite getting well and then relapsing again. So it was hard for a lot of our people to try and get to a recovery stage, or to a place of recovery where they're able to function quite normally in the community without a lot of the anxieties that they felt, without a lot of the pressures that they felt. And so coming through that, with the COVID coming in, it added another layer of how they were already feeling. Also the testing, it's very uncomfortable, especially when the invasiveness on your body when you go in to get tested. For many of our people, they're very uncomfortable with people being too close to them, and don't like, sometimes through their traumatic past, through abuse and stuff, they don't like being around people, or they don't like men touching them. A lot of the women don't like being around men because of what's happened to them. Other reasons why people may be hesitant on receiving the vaccines, that's where your monthly depot, that's how you get that. If you don't know what your monthly depot is, it's just the injection, it just comes monthly and you get jabbed in the nono. And for a lot of our people, that's a time where you're filled up with chemical restraints. If you know what that stuff feels like, they're major tranquilizers, and they slow you down, and you've got to know what it does to you physically, because that's what you're taking every month. That's the medication regime you've got on you. With that, you've got to understand that. So a lot of our people are just trying to work out what their medication is, how their life is revolving around how they're feeling now, without actually thinking of the rest of the body. Why are you unfit? Why are you overweight? That doesn't seem to come to the picture. They'd rather just have their cigarettes and their Expior, because they're getting the same medication that they need to think that they're functioning well. A lot of the times those medications can stop your sexual drive, if you can understand. And for a lot of our young men, that's not good for them to be that way. It builds up certain toxins or juices within the body, I suppose, that they're unable to release because of the medication or the chemical reactions that they're having to some of these medications they're given. Let alone what's happening for them Whaiora. I know for myself that I think I was on about 8 pills 3 times a day plus my injection, and when it came to my nightmares I'd take a pill, I'd close my eyes and open them and I'd been asleep for 8 hours. I wasn't dreaming, it was a medicated sleep, and I knew then that my Whaiora was. When you're not dreaming, things aren't, it's not functioning, something's not functioning. So a lot of the time, you're being locked up within yourself. Well, I'd be a fool not to follow my father's God, put it that way. And with that, I roto I tēnei ao hurihuri, e toru nā mea nui, ko te whakapono, te tūmanako me te aroha. And throughout this ever-changing world, those 3 things will always remain, and that's faith, hope, and love. And those 3 things are what we strive for. We strive to hope for a better day for ourselves. We need to have faith that we will have something to eat today, our children will be fed today. We need to have that love for our fellow beings so that we can share what we have with each other. And I suppose it's living those things. Kia kakauta, ko ngā wawa. I always think back to our old people. I think back to the times of my parents when they went to war and when they came back and what those soldiers went through. And they came back and they just stuck together with their wives to look after their families no matter what. They went through some very hard struggles, but they stayed together as a family unit. And if we can be able to connect back with our families to be healthy families, that's the last key to holistic health. Taha tinana, taha hinengaro, taha Whaiora, taha whānau. If we can live that, if we can have a healthy whānau, kia kaha. That's what you should be striving for, to be who you are, to reach your potential and hopefully gain employment for yourself.